Hey there, YouTube. This is Just Making a TV. Today we're doing a review on the highest to lowest. This is Spike Lee's breaking out movie with Denzel this year. I personally think this is a favorite of mine. This is up there. This last week I ended up watching The Son of Sam, and I didn't know that that was actually directed by Spike Lee, and it was actually really good. I think he really did capture that neighborhood and what was going on during that time. Now, here in 2025, this storyline over here is crazy. This is actually a spinoff of another movie that was the highest, high and low. And in that movie, it's following basically the same thing that's going on in this one: a kidnapped son of a high-profile music executive played by Denzel Washington. I think that this movie does encapsulate everything about fatherhood, black fatherhood, everything that we hold dear to our hearts in order to provide for our families. Listen, the almighty dollar plays a role in this. We got our rappers played by ASAP Rocky. I think he really did show all of his versatility and a lot of things that he's doing as far as his music. And I hope he breaks out in the film role. Now, this movie did get a lot of flack. Now, I don't really know why. A lot of Spike Lee haters out there, but look, this ain't one of them. Listen, this is a banger. You guys are gonna love it. YouTube, anybody that hasn't seen it, buy a ticket and go see it. Now, if you want to wait till Apple drops it, you can go ahead and wait. But listen, I had to see this. I'm an authentic Spike Lee fan, and I really think he did his thing on this movie. Now, going into this, some of the characters, we got a lady in there from Godfather Harlem who played his wife. She was actually really great in this role. I think her and Denzel's chemistry actually grew on camera. Now, I think that Jeffrey Wright's character, that's his right hand man, played by his driver, in this, the story in this is actually really deep. He's also a five percenter in this and showing how a little bit about how that culture actually operates. And some men have to cling to their faith in order to stay out of trouble. And we all know, if you know, you know. But I really think that Spike Lee incorporated everybody, including New York. Okay, everybody, every borough, doesn't matter what skin color. I think he really did bring us what we needed in 2025. Now, everybody's might not like the storyline or who had it, but I think this is a slam dunk. This is a slam dunk, most definitely. And shout out to all the actors. We had Mayhem in here. Many people may know him from Oz. Ryan O'Reilly, his brother. He did his thing. He played a racist cop. But that's typical of New York. But all in all, I think his acting was really good. We're showing how New York is very diverse and how every borough is different. Listen, everybody has their day. Puerto Rican Day Parade is a character within itself in this. We got the lady from Do the Right Thing, the dancing lady. I think she actually did her thing in this. She didn't have to speak too much, but if you know, you know. Everybody was in it except Mookie, but he was behind the camera, and I think he really brought the authenticity of New York and what goes on and what could potentially happen. Now, the train scene in this movie was crazy. We get two major train scenes in here. They're very, very, very fast paced. They're crazy. If you know anything about New York, you know about the trains, but it's not really like that these days. But you know what? I think in this era, anybody in his position, Denzel's character, I'm talking about being on the subway train in New York right now during this era, you'd be a little timid too if you was his character. But there was a great fight scene, great shootout scene. That was one of my actual favorite scenes in this whole thing. The shootout scene in front of the bodega, the studio session between ASAP and Denzel was actually really great. I heard that was authentic. So, just the fact that Denzel can drop those bombs and teach ASAP a little something in this acting game is cool. Now, ASAP is for sure probably going to pick it up. I think he's actually making a great, I was sold on his character, to be honest. Really listening to his music and watching him in this role is almost two different things. But I really do think that he captured what this villain in here was trying to do. Listen, he went to jail and he took his 25, on the head like anybody else would do. But you know what? I can't spoil it for y'all. Y'all got to go ahead and go see it. But Other than that, I think that the young lady that actually played his baby mama in this actually was a real good character. I mean, I think she didn't talk too much. I mean, she had a nice little scene with Denzel, but it's just like anybody in real life. You're really not supposed to tell your woman nothing because in a situation like this, she ends up telling it all. But I think Spike Lee really captured what New York was about and what the story originally was actually out there for. Now he put the character in a little bit of a different position. He's a music executive. Um, so there's a lot of highs and there's a lot of lows with this. Now he does the right thing, but at what cost? At the cost of being broke. At the cost of, you know, having to navigate social media. Now there was a happy ending at this, but I'm not gonna spoil it. Now we talk about all these different characters, special guest appearances, and things like that. I haven't really seen too much. I mean, I heard Ice Spice was in. I only seen her in there for 2 seconds. She had like two lines, but I think that if showing a little bit of these rappers' versatility and what they can do as far as making music, I think that they'll have a lot more of a outlet to get off what they need to get off. And I think Spike Lee, him using the whole team that they have and that they have to do what they have to do to get this project out. This was great. I think if you go and see it in theaters, you won't be disappointed. If you wait to see it at home, you really won't be disappointed. You'll be great and you'll love it. Like I said before, I'm a thorough Spike Lee fan. Anything Spike Lee, I want to see it. Because he's just a great director, and I think he has exactly what it takes to capture the city the way he did in this movie. Um, like I said, so we're going on from the original. The original was about a shoemaker and his business kind of getting caught up, and him having to sell the company. Or if you haven't seen it, it's on Apple TV. You got to check it out. It's really good. I don't think you will be disappointed with won't seeing that either. I think you guys really might enjoy that. But until then, this is just making the TV. Um, and like and subscribe, and I'll have more content for you when we're done. Later.